Hello, how friends, I think. I'm not going I've got no idea if this is even working, in all honesty. If it is, then there'll be something to watch later. If there's not, then there won't, I guess. That's pretty much how it goes. There's a really stupid thing at the moment if you start characters of certain races where you're not actually at the bit where you start the newbie quests. And this section doesn't have its own newbie quest starter, which I'm assuming it's going to have at some point. But the worst part is that to get to the newbie quest starter dude in the village, there's a group of higher level mobs in the way. So I'm not quite sure why these races that start in the cave here are being punished at the moment for that. I guess we'll see. The old usual kind of crowd. Oh, well, you have to get a group to fight your way through. Well, why is it only certain races that have to do that? I'm pretty sure it's not that. And they're just on the old copium. It doesn't really make any sense. Anyway, this is a nice atmospheric area, this one. It's like an underground section. If you start as an ogre, you'll be here. I don't know who else starts here. I mean, if you can play an ogre, why would you play anything else, really? So I'm never going to know. Although I don't think ogres could be paladins, which is a shame. Oh, actually, there is a paladin train down here. I don't think they can. They should be. Why not? Be a laugh. I like those combinations. So, like, ogres should also be able to be. I think they'd be necromancers, but they should also be some of the other dudes as well. Some of the other classes. That'd be cool. Fucking line of sight, honestly. Line of shit. I played a bit of the Dire Lord and the Paladin a while ago. And if you're a fan of the if you're a fan of the EverQuest classes, I think you probably like them because they're kind of they kind of got a bit of a. It's got one of those kind of crossover things, like I don't know, Necro Warrior type thing, but they seem to have some of their own more uniquer abilities as well. I think. Who the bally hell knows? What I'll probably do is get to level 4 and then see if I can make the run to the newbie village. So we can... Because you can't start gathering until you do that, so... What I want is some... level 2 or 3 mobs. So I've got a warrior that's about level 7 or 8 or something that I started the other day. and he had 2 tokens with him. I'm not sure if it's those that allowed him to try some skills. You can only, it's got that stupid thing still where you can only, you can't do all of the crafting skills on one character. But my warrior that I started had a couple of tokens that you use to choose them, but this guy doesn't have any tokens, so I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, or if they've removed tokens so you don't need the tokens now. I'm not sure. I guess it's probably even a better reason to get to try the newbie thing to see if I can actually what I can actually choose and can't choose. Maybe it's a bug. Yellow. Oh, there we go. This cave rodent here's got Savaitis dance or something. It's something going on. Hey Liz, how you doing? Hope your lace making's going well. Oh really? Might be too low maybe. Had something turned down. Let me know if the sound. I've just turned the sound up and stuff, so it should be better, hopefully. Or it's broken. One of the two. Oh, hello. I don't think skeletons drop bags. I haven't had one yet. There's these little goblin dudes that sometimes drop a bag. In fact, skeletons don't seem to drop much at all. I think if they're carrying a weapon, then you get the weapon. But the lighting's better today. When I took my warrior through here the other day, it was just too dark, and it would have this weird thing where if you move the camera a certain way, the whole place would light up. I'm not sure. I guess maybe they've fixed that. Oh, didn't expect that. Or I should have expected that. Now, there's a weird thing here, in the sense that there doesn't seem to be any guards. Oh, I couldn't find any the other day. So if you pull mobs that you can't deal with, then essentially you're going to die. There's just no way around it, which seems a bit weird. Actually, what I can do is that maybe win the fight. I was saving that for when I did the run for the town, but oh well. There you go. Oh, who's going to get the kill? Ooh. I think it was me. There is nice lighting. I think that's probably the one plus that the graphics have, is the lighting. Lighting, I should say. My abilities are flashing down here. I don't know why. I've screwed something up somewhere. Going to do this. I was thinking about doing a separate video about it, but that the stuff I did on there's a couple of Pantheon videos I did a while ago, like the most fun the channel's had, I think, for quite some time. Oh, there's a lot of people really butthurt over those. The funniest ones I like the best, the ones where I had one, the most recent one, and doing them is like doing them for me is just I afterwards I think to myself, why do I do them? Why did I do them? Because I mean, this might sound weird, but I actually just get fed up with interaction on social media now, particularly the sort of interaction you get when you don't like something that someone else likes. It's like I've got another YouTube channel, and if I'm not streaming, which is almost never, I'm normally on that one because it means I just don't get comments. And it might sound weird saying you don't want comments when you're doing videos, but yeah, I guess it probably is weird. Because you get things like, you'll get like a comment on an 8-year-old video, and like the MMO, the 8-year-old MMO or whatever it is, it's like no one's even playing it anymore. It's probably not even live anymore. And people go, oh, you know, get all cross about an 8-year-old video, and I don't respond to those kind of things generally. So it's just, what can you say? This video's 8 years old, mate. You know, it's like no one cares anymore. And I know those Pantheon videos are going to be those kind of videos. Like in 10 years' time when Pantheon still hasn't come out, people are going, oh, you're just a hater. Yeah, but it's funny. Like, yeah, I've kind of got like another YouTube channel. It doesn't have any content on it. It's just like, I just created it, and I just subscribe to the very few channels that I even bother watching anymore. And then normally I'm over there. It's got no content, so you know you're not missing anything. Yeah, but the best ones I get, like I got one the other day where someone said, "This is your worst video ever. I'm unsubscribing," and whether that's, I don't know if they unsubscribed or not. I'm guessing they probably did. And what other ones? I like the ones where people, it's like when you get a comment on X or something, or Facebook, you know. I like the comments where people, the ones that make me laugh, where people, where they watch a 30-minute video and there's one bit they don't like, so they pick that bit out and they say, oh, you spent the whole video moaning about this. You know, and then you listen back to the video and you think to yourself, you did spend some time talking about that, but you spoke about 3 or 4 other things as well. But that was the bit they focused on because that was the most negative bit, and that was the only bit that the bit they heard. So they're funny, those ones. What else did I have? What other ones did I have? If I open another YouTube page while I'm streaming, will that break the stream? I don't know. It might. No, I don't think it has. But I do get some funny ones. Then obviously you get the ones that are the other way, which are not, which are no more helpful. You know, where people go, oh, "This game's a scam," kind of stuff. Oh, here's one. Yeah, man, this is the worst video I've ever seen you make. I just unsubscribed. And he mentions Carnage, who I don't even watch, but I do know that he's a backer. So this guy would rather watch a backer who, like, I'm not saying Carnage would be dishonest, but he's still a backer. Like, he's still an investor, actually, not a backer. I love the ones also where you talk about something in a video and they try to make out that you're unaware. You do know this is testing, don't you? They're funny. There's another one as well that there's another comment as well that you get quite a lot. I can't find it. Anyway, let's quickly get to level 4, and then actually I've got to wait for my. I'll go and check to see. Maybe they've unbrokened it, and you can. These little offshoots that I really like in this section. Oh, there we go. I think that. Oh, it's yellow. No, we can actually. We're full everything, so we should be able to kill that. I think we should be alright. Probably take all our resources, but there you go. Yeah, do you know, Liz, I think after it's like I'm gonna say to myself, like, why did I make this video? So, you know, all these videos. But yeah, I mean, I think after all this time of doing YouTube, I just don't care what people have got to say anymore. Really. And I've got even less to care about what someone who leaves a comment on a 10-year-old video has got to say, like moaning about the video. You know, it's, I don't know. This is not going particularly well. I think we might be alright. Oh, no, I don't want to sit down, you fool. I might die here. I was trying to get through this section without dying, but I think we're probably going to die. That's annoying. Hey, Jim. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't have. I don't think I probably really have a negative opinion on it anyway. Like personally, I think that it's. I mean, sometimes when you're doing a video on a game, I guess you kind of you embellish the some things, you know, like maybe you use, like you act a bit and you use what personality you've got, good or bad, you know, to maybe make things. I mean, I don't have any. I don't even know how many views my videos get, to be honest. And that is honest. You know, I'm not bullshitting you there. I don't have any ads on my videos and stuff, so it's not. So I don't do stuff for clicks. But when I do a video, if I find something that I don't like, I might go, "Oh, fucking hell, this bit of the game shit," you know. And it's just like it's more of an embellishment of the, you know, of I guess what it actually is about. So I'm not sure it made any sense or not. It didn't even really make any sense to me. So yeah, so my opinions on the game are not particularly negative. The issue that I had really with it and other games like it is how they're being like marketed. Really, it's like don't tell people who, you know, for the most part maybe don't have a lot of money to spend on a game, that a game is this sort of game when it's not. This is not like EverQuest. That was kind of my point, and that was what it was. To be honest with you, I probably should look and see what the website says now, because maybe with Brad gone and whatnot, and it changed direction, maybe that's not what they're trying to be now. But, and that's not to say that you can't you can't play this and it might evoke some kind of emotion or feeling that you had back when you played EverQuest. But when there's so many people around trying to convince other people that this is just like EverQuest and etc., etc., I just don't. That's what I don't like. You know, I mean, I think the game is perfectly serviceable, like as a classic WoW clone, that will hopefully develop and gain its own identity, you know, as development goes on. But yeah, that was the issue that I've got. I mean, you know, putting mobs in the game and calling them, you know, fire beetles and skeletons doesn't make your game EverQuest. You know, that's the issue that I had with not just this game, but Ember's Drift and other games as well, is that they're telling customers that they're this game, and they're really not. And I think that, I mean, a lot of the pushback on the couple of videos that I did on the game are from people that haven't played P99, for example. So their memories of EverQuest are from 20 years ago, and they're coming into this game, and it's great. If this game is evoking that nostalgia for them, then that's great. You know, I mean, why would anyone not be happy about that if someone else is getting that from it? But, you know, at the base, you know, I think ultimately, you know, me playing it, it's my job to just. Well, me playing and creating content about it, it's my job just to tell people, well, how I think it is anyway. You know, it's like yeah, but I mean, I think it's perfectly serviceable. I mean, you know, I run around, I kill some mobs, I quite enjoy doing it. Yeah, and it's fine. And I'm sure I'll, you know, level a character to max level and do some stuff, all the stuff and all that kind of thing. It's, I mean, I also personally think that WoW Classic is a fantastic MMO, and there's nothing wrong with trying to evoke those emotions in people as well. You know, which I think is, and I think that's fine. But I think the issue with this and with all of the MMOs and all game genres really are the audience. You know, there's a certain audience, there's a certain percentage of the audience playing this game who desperately want it to be the next EverQuest, and they'll talk themselves in knots trying to convince themselves and other people that that's what it is, but it's not. You know, this to me, I mean, having played WoW Classic recently on one of the anniversary servers, like this feels very, very much like that, as opposed to feeling like EverQuest. And again, that's fine. You know, I think that's absolutely fine. But there are some people who don't want it to be like that, and there are some people who will get salty because someone's saying that. But that's how it feels to me anyway. The other thing as well is that, yeah, I mean, like you say, after release, I mean, going into early access after 11 years or whatever it is, just feels a bit, I don't know. I mean, fair enough, they've kind of started the development phases, they've started development again, essentially. But it's, I think the thing that I guess that I'm most disappointed about, and a lot of people are, and maybe in some form these things be introduced, is that looking back at footage from the game 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe longer, I was actually really down for that. I was thinking, wow, this looks cool, this looks amazing, you know, I like this idea, I like this dungeon or whatever it was, but where is that game? You know, it's I guess it might probably be incorporated, will it, in this game at some point? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's. I'm not sure if. I mean, I honestly don't know if the restart of development meant that actually everything started again. So like any of the zones or whatever that they had before are gone and they're just starting again. I don't know. Maybe someone else can enlighten me on that. I think one of the comment that I had, that I agreed with them, that I thought kind of summed it up pretty well on one of the videos that I did, was that at the moment the game, again, it's not a criticism, it didn't sound like it was meant to be a criticism, it was just that the game feels like classic WoW but with much less to do at the moment, and that's probably fair. As I said, to me, having played P99 and classic WoW recently, it feels a lot more like classic WoW in its gameplay and the way the mechanics are implemented, and it's not finished, so there's obviously less to do. So it's probably actually a, yeah. Am I level 3 still? I'm not sure. No, I'm level. Oh, okay. We'll stay in the cave until I get my life tap back. I think at level 4 I think I get a oh god, where's my bloody trainer? It's not a massive area, but I can't Oh, it must be through here. I think there's a. I think I've got like a. I think I've got a life tap spell. Oh yeah, I've got a life tap spell that I can. I think the issue, Jim, is that God, you could be waiting forever. You know, I kind of think that early access and all those kind of things are just really an excuse for never releasing a game. You know, will this game ever reach a 1.0 kind of state? I don't know. You know, it's like. Yeah, I think, I mean, outside all of the hate and the fanboyism, one extreme or the other, then yeah, Liz, I think that your attitude is the attitude to have. Essentially, is that you backed the game more than 10 years ago, and this is all they've got to show for it so far, and you think, yeah, whatever. And I think that's absolutely reasonable, more than reasonable. And I'm sure there were people that say, oh well, you know, kickstarting and all that kind of stuff, they don't owe you anything, you're agreeing to give them the money and that's it's down to you, you know. But I think it's a more than reasonable stance. I find myself thinking more about my time investment than I ever did. Even getting older and having like more time, I think to myself, do I want? I mean, gaming is my main hobby. It's been my main hobby since 1980, like 1979, 1980. I played gaming every day since then, pretty much. So it's my main thing, and I think I kind of reached that point where if I'm not absolutely enjoying what I'm doing, whereas like before I played games and I thought, well, I'm going to play this and I'm going to invest the time and see what happens later, I'm less inclined to do that now, and I think a lot of people seem to be as well. You know, it's like a lot of people who played EverQuest or Camelot or whatever it was are kind of not my age. You know, maybe they're like my boys. You know, like late 20s, early 30s. And they've currently got families and all that kind of stuff. And they're working and whatnot. So that's kind of like the target audience who doesn't have a... Yeah, but I think we've just been through it all. We've been through it all. We've invested time in MMOs for decades, and I don't know. I'm at that point where, yeah, I guess I'm just less willing to give them time to. Hey, Will, I like it. I like it for what it is. It's obviously still got a long way to go. And like for me personally, I said earlier on in the stream, like I don't think it's a classic MMO unless you define WoW classic as classic, which some people do, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I like it for the most part. You know, I'm sitting around killing mobs and then sitting down, talking to you. But as I was saying about like investing time and stuff, long term, why am I investing time in the game? What is it going to be another 5 years and development still hasn't really pushed on enough? Yeah, I'm just more, I guess, more respectful of my own time now. I mean, I've just put like 100 and where's my Steam page? I've just put like 120 hours into Stalker 2, and I immediately restarted as soon as I finished. So, you know, it's not like I don't want to invest time in gaming or whatever it may be, but I think you just got to be more. I think one of the issues, and I was talking about it earlier, and that's the player base. I think there's a quite toxic player base who's playing these classic MMOs, who want them to be a certain way, but they don't really understand them. They're 20-somethings making out they're 30-something, and they played EverQuest in '99 when they didn't because they weren't old enough. Or they're just like old bitter players who, I don't know, who kind of think that MMOs kind of now owe them a living, like because MMOs modernised and they became, you know, what they are now, that they're owed like a, you know, they're owed a classic one, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that it is classic. But then again, not seeming to understand what a classic MMO is, because I hear, you know, it was the same with Embers Adrift, Shroud of the Avatar, Pantheon. Even Monster Memories, I've seen it, where there's an element of the player base who, if you make a comment about something, they'll go, oh no, you know, you need to go back to WoW. This is old school MMO. This is a classic MMO. But the element they're talking about was not in a classic MMO, or it was completely different in a classic MMO. And so I do wonder to myself, like, who these people are. Are they just trolling? Did they never play a classic MMO? People talking about gameplay mechanics in Embers Adrift and this game, and I've seen it on the M&M Discord as well. And I'm saying these elements were never in a classic MMO. Like, what are you talking about? What can you tell me what game specifically you're talking about? Are you talking about Ultra Online? Are you talking about EverQuest? Are you talking about Dark Age of Camelot? Are you talking about City of Heroes? No. Well, what game are you talking about then? It's weird. There's like this gatekeeping going on by people who haven't got the key to the gate themselves. It's very odd. Anyway, there you go. Oh man, my time in Stalker 2, it was like I replayed the original trilogy again beforehand, and it's probably my favourite game series. And it was like I would go from euphoria to absolute despair playing Stalker 2. And I know it's because a lot of the despair came from the fact that there's just stuff that needs to be worked on, and that's fine. But yeah, it was like, in my experience, was like almost like one moment it was like being on drugs, and the next moment it was like being on a massive downer. I also thought that, like, weirdly, I know that it was kind of a bit of a thing in, I won't spoil it, but it was kind of a bit of a thing in the original trilogy, but not as much. But the last chapter of the game was so misguided. It was really weird. It was like a massive slog through like a corridor shootery type game and like I guess depending on what kind of story options you chose as you went through. I ended up having like 3 boss fights, and like just fucking. I mean, I did play it on veterans. That probably didn't help. But I just had to. I was walking into rooms and like this fucking tanky monoliths with exoskeletons were spawning above me with Gauls rifles. So and it's one of those arenas as well where you step off into the room, then you can't jump back out again. So step off, one shot. So what the fuck's going on? And this went on through the whole chapter, and including the 3 boss fights were kind of like spaced out in between that stuff. It was like, I thought to myself, how did they get the ending so wrong? Yeah, but even so, it's still my favourite game, along with Cyberpunk from the last 10 years. There's kind of a general issue, I would say, overall with modelling and animations at the moment. I mean, I don't mind the ogre, but I'm not quite sure that this is what I want my ogre shaman to be. I'm not too sure. They do make, yeah, I played one a little bit, but I'm kind of saving that. I did create an ogre shaman just to save the name, so I'll try it out at some point. When I played previously, a few months ago, the shaman was like in a bit of a strange place. They just kept doing, like, they would nerf the damage on a dot or something by like 99%, and you play it and it's like, what have you done? And then they'd put it up again and stuff, you know. Absolutely no idea about balancing or whatever. But yeah, I'll give it another go at some point. You can currently be ogre necromancers as well, which is pretty interesting. You could be ogre paladins, but I think they removed that, which I thought was a shame. That could be going to be a good role-playing thing, where you try to be a good ogre or a virtuous ogre. But you know, there's too much role-playing, I guess, for these guys. I'd love for them to do some. I'd love for Grok to do some kind of Stalker 2 Gamma type thing. That'd be cool. Project Quan was interesting. I never really. It came out in a period where I wasn't really playing EverQuest that much, so I didn't really. I saw this other thing as well. Did someone mention it earlier? I'm not sure if that's what Evercraft is, but oh, maybe no. Maybe Evercraft is like the Minecraft EverQuest. Someone put a game up on the Discord. It's like EverQuest, but you can choose to be 3 classes, like in one class. It's like an emulated modded thing. But I think it used like it used the Luklin graphics. So I was like, nah. I'm not sure if you can change. Maybe you can change them. Well, at the moment, the ogres have got this little section here where the trainers are and stuff, but there isn't anything else. Weirdly, I don't quite know why they've done it, but oh, actually, we can go and do it now. We'll try and do it anyway. Weirdly, if you're one of the races that start here, to be able to do the newbie intro quests, they've put like a high level camp in the way if you get into town. So I haven't tried Evercraft yet. I have to give it a go. But I don't quite know why they've done that. Because if you start as another race, you just start off in the town where the newbie quest is. You can hand your note in. But here you have to run to the town. But let's have a look. When I started my warrior anyway, there was a high level camp in the way. Oh, it's a bit dark, so. Well, the location's still there. I don't know. Yeah, so this camp is blocking your way to town. I don't know why. Stupid idea. So you pick an ogre or whatever, and you're punished for it. You know. But if you start a human or whatever, then it actually starts you in the town where the newbie quests are. I'm also a bit worried that this guy might be bugged because I didn't start with any crafting tokens. So let's see what happens to this guy. Oh, he managed to run by the. So when I tried to run by here with my warrior like that bloke did, I got aggroed by like 2 or 3 mobs. So that maybe because it's night time actually. Okay. So this cultist here did notice someone run by, but they didn't actually aggro. No, so I've been aggroed. That's great. Oh man, the sprinting's just garbage. Hate it. Hate that mechanic. I think we might be alright. I can life tap if I need to. Oh man, what the hell? Can I life tap from behind? Oh, don't think so. Oh, we made it. There we go. Okay, we're in town, so we can start gathering some shiz. Okay. Oh, there's my crafting tokens. Oh, so you get your crafting tokens when you do that quest. Fair enough. Can only do 2 crafting, which is a mistake. There you go. No one listens to me. No one bloody listens to me, do they? Let's go and turn in this, do this quest. Hang on a second. Have I got some filter on the? Is that better for you? It's probably a bit more gamma-y, so you can see a bit more. There you go. Oops. I like the warrior actually. Again, feels a bit like WoW warrior-y. It's got like a charge ability and stuff. It's quite interesting. I'm wondering if there's a quest that gives you a weapon. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. Weaponsmith. Ooh, I do like some of the visual design actually, and the lighting's really good. Snake scale boots. Okay. Let's kill some rats and snakes. Does she give a quest? No, I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to craft my own weapons. I definitely want to create food, I think, probably. Let's see if I've got some silver, enough silver to buy some bags. How much have I got? We'll buy a pouch. I'll buy 2 pouches. Oops. Oh, just rat tails. But the I'm not sure if what it's like on the early access, but in like, you know, whatever it was before early access, no idea. Yeah, it was a bit. They were quite rare drops, the rat tails. I'm level 4. Let's go around this. Let's go around this way until level 5. Then we'll go over the bridge at level 5, maybe. Yeah, sorry, Liz. Yeah, rat tails. Let's get some rat tails for that dude. There are some other quests around as well, but I can't bother to pick them up at the moment. We'll pick up the second courier quest when we go across the bridge, because then we can just run straight there, I think, hand it in. But it'll probably be slow because I'll be overweight, maybe. Yeah, maybe not. I wonder if the sprinting skill gets to a point where it gets to a level where you can just sprint for quite a long way. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. It kind of ruins Spirit of Wolf as well, because Spirit of Wolf just increases your stamina sprint thing. So it's a bit of a shame. I want old school Spirit of Wolf. I'm a dire lord. I'm hoping they've got some good writers for the game, because the Dire Lord particularly seems to be a pretty feared class. Like when you run, there's a couple of guys in town, when you run past them, they go something like, "Oh, my grandma never told me stories about Dire Lords, only nightmares." So I hope they've got some good lore writers on the game. It's kind of like a Shadow Knight, though, in a way, but, you know. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I've got a list of names like that. Holy shit, I could go make a cup of tea. He smokes. I still haven't changed that vape. Oops, what's going on here? A couple of ruffians. Okay. Oh, well, I'm glad I made that change, because you can see a bit better now. That's quite good. It was looking very, very dark. Hopefully when the day comes up, it's not too bright. I hope at some point you can change the colour skin on the ogres, so it's not all red. I should kill mobs that drop skins, really. That would make more sense. Is anyone else playing this at the moment, or are you kind of all sitting on the fence mostly? We can just gather enough stuff to... Is that... What the hell is that? Are these mobs... These dudes running around. Are they... Oh, it's a... She's still got the bloody chevrons. Oh, man. Why do I bother? I never should have started playing this again. Let me smoke. Yeah, if I can gather enough to go and just turn those quests in. It's a bit dark. It's actually brighter for you now. It's still quite dark for me. Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't. I need to start PoE 2. I haven't played it yet. I wanted to, but I was Stalker was just had me by the ghoulies. You know, it'd be interesting if they expand upon that Underdark area. Where the ogre starts. So it's like this proper zone, and you can do gathering and stuff there. That'd be cool. I'm not sure if you saw them, but I saw those NPCs running over here just now. I'm not sure if they were just some NPCs randomly running around the zone. We'll see. Yeah, PoE 2. I'm well keen. I also want to go. I only played it. Well, I think I played it earlier on in the year, but I want to play. Now I've played Stalker 2. I'm listening to the Metro books, so I want to go through and play the Metro games again. I love those games. Do you want me to put my torch in my hand? I was hoping for another weapon, so because I think my dude can dual wield. We'll stick the torch on. Is that the VRE Metro? I haven't got a headset actually. I've got some Steam vouchers, so I want to pick up I want to get an OLED Steam Deck. So when my wife's watching Strictly Come Dancing or something, I can play some little games. I'm not sure if I'm not sure how long it would take for technology to get there, but I was reading when I was reading a section of the book where Artyom goes up to Moscow for the first time, and he gets trapped in the block of flats by those no-neck monsters. And that's kind of what I want from a Stalker or a Metro game at some point next. So like a Pripyat in Stalker 2 is actually quite disappointing. I would love I love a Metro game to actually be like, so you've got the Metro underneath and it's huge and you can go from station to station, but then as a Stalker you can go up top and you can try and survive, and there's loads of locations there and all that kind of thing. That would be my ideal Metro game. When a character name says 1,000 words, so you don't have to. I think Stalker 2 kind of got quite close. You've got the big open air, big open zones and stuff. It's got loads of little secret tunnels and scientific bases and underground bunkers to explore. It's a bit like watching. I don't know if anyone watch. I mean, I can't understand a word they're saying. Obviously, I don't know if anyone watches that channel. I can't remember what it's called, but a YouTube channel where you got those Russian dudes or Ukrainian dudes or whatever they are who visit these. It's amazing. It must be. It's like across that area of the world, there just seems to be all these abandoned military bases that you can just go to. It's like having a Stalker moment in real life. I'd love that. That'd be cool. I wouldn't like to get caught, obviously, but yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Is this Unreal 5 they're using? I'm not sure, but I will say that the two good things about the game engine, the only two good things really, are the lighting and the volumetrics are really nice. I think it kind of makes up for a lot of the other shortcomings. Yeah, I as soon as I finished, I started a new playthrough, but then I kind of stopped myself. I thought I'll wait until, I think there's another patch coming up soon, so I'll wait and see what they do with the patch. As I said, I can always play through the Metro games again. Do you play Gamma or the other mod thing? I played a lot. I love Gamma. It's amazing. Or Anomaly or Gamma, isn't it? I think Gamma is like a mod of Anomaly, isn't it? I think it's like a... Did I not skin that dude? Guess not. I was going to get the physical Ultimate Edition, and I didn't get it, and I'm really kicking myself now because I'll probably never get it. I might find it on eBay maybe, but the problem with it was that it was over 400 euro. It was like 400 euros, but they weren't guaranteeing delivery. It was order it and your delivery will be expected sometime in April next year. It was like, wow, that sounds a bit dodgy. But I'm kicking myself now. Because I think you got like a rucksack. A Stalker rucksack. And I'd like to have gone out with my rucksack on my back. Maybe a gas mask or something. It's funny how the sun comes out really quickly, and it's always been like it for the most part. And it's, I guess, something they never fixed, or I guess maybe it's just not a priority. if anyone's playing this with an Nvidia card, or indeed any game actually, and you have vision issues, then if you go into the Nvidia control panel, you can just turn up the brightness or the gamma on the control panel, and it will turn it up in game. Not quite sure why they have darkness in games anymore. You just get around it anyway, you know, if you want to. When early access first went, there weren't that many at all. But I think the game just came out on Steam, so I think there's more people playing it now. There's quite a few on here. There's 2 European servers. This is the second one, so there's a fair amount. There's loads of American servers. I'm not sure if they needed that many, but when I logged in this morning, none of the servers were full, for example. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it as well. Yeah, it's a good representation of a classic WoW type MMO. I think the issue that MMOs seem to have, from the ones that we've played, is they have a massive opening where a lot of people try them, but they're not retaining players. That's the big issue. I think it's on Steam now, mate. Yeah. It was for a few days. It was only accessible through the launcher, but I think it's on Steam now. Yeah. Is it $40 or something? That seems quite steep to me, but. Hey, no worries, mate. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it's been a real issue. Like there are MMOs that we've played that like opened to you know, a couple of thousand people playing, logging in on day one or whatever, and whatnot, but then that quickly drops off. I was wondering if there's some sort of XP bonus in the Underdark area, because like my warrior, I never left the Underdark area till I was level 6 on my warrior, and he flew to level 6. I know that these mortal deer are level 3 or so. Seems to have slowed down a lot. Oh, come on. Say. I think it's all the MMOs that I play grabbed me in for a period of time, but then unfortunately, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the gathering front. I'm afraid I've got zero tolerance for a game that creates a system where a PvE game where you're competing for other players over fighting over a few nodes. Don't get it. If people want to craft, then let them craft. It's like, you know, to gather, just let them do it. I don't understand what the thing is. I mean, I've been playing for a few days now, and I've barely seen anyone either asking to buy or selling resources in the chat. It was the same in Embers Adrift. People just hoarded all the resources for themselves to increase their skills. Because the problem is, this is the same in that it takes so much of the resource to increase the skills that you want and whatnot. Yeah, I've got zero tolerance for it. I don't get it. It's just a shitty roadblock that doesn't need to be there. I mean, I know loads of people who actually just like gathering and crafting in games. So that's a market that you're losing straight away. Yeah, I don't find it's not difficult. I don't think. I just think it's just time. You know, it's time that outside of sad old bastards like me, you know, the target audience for this game doesn't have the time it had 15, 20 years ago. You know, it's just as I said, if it was a PvP game, it'd be cool. Going around in your guild or your little group, fighting other groups for nodes and stuff, it's great. But it's like, and also I feel that I've said this a million times before, I'm just repeating myself, but I feel that the economy and the marketplace is just a red herring for people who just want it that way. And it's probably those people who will run around for 36 hours out of 48 gathering because they've got nothing else to do with their time. You know, it's just not, I just don't understand it. You know, economies never work in games properly. They always end up shit after a short period of time. It never works as us as players kind of think it's going to work or want it to work. The only economy in an MMO that I've seen recently that works reasonably well is New Worlds, and the reason it works is because you always need the tier 1 resources. So that they never go out of fashion. And so if you go onto a marketplace on New World, there's always people buying iron, for example, because you need it right the way through the process. It's just if you design it right, you don't need to worry about that kind of thing. I just feel that it's an arbitrary roadblock that some people see as being old school or whatever, but I see it as being wank. Yeah, it's stupid, mate. It's just stupid. It makes no sense. And it does just turn it into a running simulator, and that gameplay loop is not a classic loop either. So you're asking people to invest in you're asking classic MMO players to invest in a non-classic loop that you've made frustrating. Doesn't really make any sense. And as people say, you don't have to do it, but it's in the game. It's part of the process, you know. Yeah, but I mean, I also don't. I mean, I don't think that you should be able to run around and just collect hundreds of ore in a short period of time. You know, you have to have some. There has to be. It has to feel like you're making progress and working your way towards a goal. And when you reach that goal, you kind of feel rewarded. But I think turning it into a running simulator like this is, it's just not. I personally don't find it fun. It's not like a, you know, and I love gathering. It's like I log into New World just to run around gathering. But in this game, I just don't think it hits the mark at all. I mean, New World again, for example, like there are a lot of nodes for you to gather from. You find them everywhere, but it still takes an awfully long time to increase your to get to a point where you can make the stuff that you want to. I don't think Embers Adrift has found its audience, though. That's what we were talking about earlier. Embers Adrift is one of the, I mean, I logged into Embers Adrift the other day because it's currently like free to play, or it was a little while ago, and there was like literally less than 10 people on. You know, it's like that's the problem. You know, Embers Adrift was one of those MMOs that released, and when we were playing on day one, I think there was over 2,000 people at one point on the server. That's a game that what's his face did a video about that had like over 250,000 views, and you log in and there's like single digits playing. I think Embers Adrift is one of those games that's failed actually, because it making similar mistakes that the other games have made. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a technical problem to do with Unreal or whatever, or if maybe when you create this sort of MMO, you just create like you buy like a template that you lay down over your zone and it creates nodes. I'm not quite sure, but I don't understand why you wouldn't have a mine area where you go for ore, or a forest area where you go for trees or whatever. It just doesn't, it doesn't really doesn't really make any sense too much. I think when I did that chat stream with Sean from Monsters and Memories, I think the one thing that I took away from it is that, not the one thing, but one of the things I took away from it is that really they're going to be what they're going to be. I think that as the developers, they want to design and implement systems how they want to implement them, and up until this point anyway, you know, it feels as though they're not prepared to move away from their design philosophy, even if their game becomes almost like a single player role playing game from an audience point of view. You know, they're not willing to compromise on some of the decisions that people stop playing for, and then you end up with pretty much a dead MMO, I guess. You know. And actually, maybe that's kind of a good thing, because you can see. So what we should do is we should stop kickstarting, or whatever, you know, and or spending our money, and look at the systems. And if the game has got systems that you don't like, then there's a fair chance that it's not worth you playing that game, because those systems are probably not, if there's something in a game that you really don't like, those systems are probably not going to be compromised on, and so it's an easy decision. Yeah, I mean, I've been logging in on and off for quite a period of time, and quite often I'm logging into Embers, and yeah, there's like 10 people on, a dozen people on and stuff. I mean, I log in off peak, admittedly, but you can't really play, particularly a game that is so focused on grouping. You know, it's I know people will tell you that they've added in these little solo dungeon loops and stuff, but at the end of the day, progress is so slow that yeah. I mean, they said I think they're either doing, or they've done a Steam release. I think they said they would never do a Steam release, and it was like a badge of honour that a lot of the hardcore players were wearing. But I think they're doing a Steam release now, I guess, to maybe hopefully increase the population. But not just in MMOs. I think the audience, we just don't help as an audience. You know, it's like I heard somewhere that Embers was going to do like a Steam launch, and so you go over to the I went over to the Discord to have a look, and it's the same people saying the same stuff that they were saying 2 years ago. Oh yeah, so now the Steam launch, yeah, now that's when it's all going to kick off and stuff, and and it might attract like some more players initially, but you know, the people that were going to play a classic MMO have already tried it probably, and move on. Well, I do wonder sometimes if that's what the developers are chasing. Like it's like chasing around after a unicorn that runs just slightly quicker than you do. You know, this younger audience of it being exposed to classic MMOs. I just don't, you know. I mean, I've talked to people in game, like on P99. I've spoken to people in game who have said, "Oh, hello, I found P99 through your videos, and like I come from like a later generation of MMO players, and I'm trying it out and stuff." So there are players out there, but it's not going to be it's not going to be sustainable, I don't think. You know, I think Embers Adrift had a problem with their payment systems. I think the company that were running their payment systems, I don't know if they just exploded or whatever, so they couldn't process the payments, so they had to make it free to play. I'm assuming they're gonna, I don't know, maybe it was an excuse. You know, maybe it was an excuse just to go free to play, they're desperate for players to come in, I don't know. But that was the reason on the Discord a little while ago, that their payment processor had blown up or something. You bang on the money, Liz, there. In the indie MMO scene currently, there are too many, too similar, and they're too unfinished. I'm going to use that as a video title at some point, if you don't mind, because that's brilliant. That's the slogan for indie MMOs. Too many, too similar, too unfinished. That absolutely, that sums it up brilliantly. Oh, cool. Yes, I mean, I suppose we can expect them to reinstate the payment thing at some point then. Thank you. I like that. That's really good. Maybe with this game, the thing to do is to... maybe there's some other things as well that I'm not aware of, but I always thought the two big selling points of this game were the climbing system, which I was quite excited about at first, but now I think about it, I kind of think to myself, well, it's just climbing. I mean, you know, you'll have some places where you can only get to through climbing, which is great, I guess, but at the end of the day, it's just climbing. And this perception system that we have seen in, like, you know, D&D online or whatever, but yeah. Hi Dan, yeah, you're speaking for a lot of people, I think, there, where you kind of just lost hope. Did the I know like back in the day, mobs would kind of, would they just throw stuff at you and knock you off or something? I can't remember if you tried to climb away from them. Honestly, mate, you could start gathering from a node and go make a cup of tea, come back again. I mean, you want some progress in a sense that, you know, you increase your skill or you get a better thingy for it to, so that it gets quicker. So you feel like you're making some sort of progress. But I don't know why it has to start at such a slow point. Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about the climbing idea, I think I did a video where I was all over it. But when I thought about it, I thought it's just climbing. It's just another way of traversing, you know, the map, really. And I don't mind the idea at all of content being locked behind the climbing skill, where you have to get like a certain amount of skill to get to certain dungeons or whatever. I quite like that idea. Yeah, that's probably the best way of coming into it, actually, mate. Just yeah, it's a new MMO you're trying out. You didn't follow it before. I think that's the. It's got a lot of baggage, you'll find, with, and rightly so. I don't think it's a unfounded baggage. Has anyone started their Christmas film watching yet? We started a bit early. What have we watched so far? We watched Scrooged on Saturday. We watched It's a Wonderful Life last weekend. I mean, the films we've all seen before, but they're just classics, aren't they? That you have to watch. I had the KFC Christmas burger yesterday. I love KFC and I really liked it, but I was bloated for about a day afterwards. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say. A little bit of a teardrop at the end of It's a Wonderful Life, for sure. It's pretty cool. Yeah, see, my fear with these systems that sounded really cool are are all of those good initial ideas gone? You know, yeah, like the rogue class. It'd be interesting if the rogue had some special climbing skills. That'd be really cool. And that kind of thing. But if it's just going to be climbing and you increase your skills, get to a point, that kind of starts to sound a bit less interesting. But I guess, you know, there isn't enough. I think as Liz said, there isn't another MMO that's got it, is there? So, you know. What have we completed? I've got some pelts. I need to find some maple logs. What is that noise? Oh, it's someone mining. Oh, look. Honestly, we're mining. A node spawn behind me and bloody typical dwarves, always mining. Yeah, this it's basically it's a fillet burger with some stuff in it. I got blessed by the KFC gods as well yesterday because I got like a box with a meal box thing or whatever it is. With like a one-piece chicken, and they gave me a massive piece of chicken. Normally you get like a little leg or breast or something. Has old Backwood got a quest now? I don't think he has, is he? Or do you have to be a certain level? Oh, so is he like what's her face from Kenos Hills, where if you're fighting an animal, I don't think so. If you're fighting an animal and he comes past, then he attacks you. I don't think. I'm sure I've fought animals before. And he's walked. Holly Windstalker, that's it. Yeah, she wanders around Kenos Hills, isn't she? Yeah, I'm sure I've had a fight with some animals and he's wandered past though. Maybe it was in previous revision of the game. I think as a tanky dude, I think actually he does have some self-healing. I was thinking that food is probably going to be a good cooking's probably going to be a good skill to choose for a lot of people. You get like stat food and health regen food and what have you. Christmas Vacation is a film that we always watch on Christmas Eve. I love the vacation films. You know, the Chevy Chase Beverly D'Angelo combo. So that's our kind of Christmas Eve film that we watch. I subject the family to it anyway. I must say, it's only low level, but I much prefer the warrior at the moment. Interestingly, it just feels so much more dynamic. That charge skill you get. Um, I really like the engagement of that for mobs. It's really cool. Oh, Die Hard's definitely, yeah. Oh, we also watched Miracle on 34th Street as well, but it was like the updated one with Richard Attenborough, and I think it was, who plays St. Nick. Yeah, whenever I start a character in Kenos Hills, I always do the Rabid Wolf and Rabid Bear pelt quests. Turn those in. I'm not sure if they've changed it, but I'll tell you, surprisingly, the class that I enjoy playing on here was I tried a cleric, and I might try it again. It was it took forever to kill stuff, but it was really tanky. Like you just couldn't die. I love that about that. I think a cleric should be like that, almost unkillable, but it takes you ages to. Obviously, if you get attacked by 2 or 3 mobs, then you know, for the most part, it's going to be game over, isn't it? But yeah, it was interesting that it felt it was really tanky, but in a different way to a warrior. It was. Oh yeah, Die Hard's one of the best Christmas movies for sure. I like the Scrooge musical as well. The one with Albert Finney. We like that. We watched that as well. I don't know, mate. Did they? Oh, surely Shamans and Necros got around very right, haven't they? It's like, if you remove too many ways of playing the game, it just becomes pretty boring. Hopefully not. I know there was a period a while back where I did play Shaman for a bit, but they were just balancing it and they just kept nerfing all the damage and stuff, and it was not fun to play. Yeah, the Alice the Sim one, I think, is the black and white one. That's one of the... that's good as well, yeah. I do love that Dickensian Christmas thing. I'd like to try and recreate that one Christmas, just like for our Christmas. I do like that. We should all dress up and call ourselves Bob Cratchit. And yeah, the Muppet one's pretty cool as well. Is that the mascot? What's his name? It's got Thingy in it, isn't it? The British actor, the old. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I haven't, like, since I did start playing the Shaman when I first started playing Pantheon. I like the idea of a dwarf shaman, actually. I think that was something that I found, but I'm not sure if I cannot play an ogre. Yeah, but then, as I said, they seem to be faffing around with it, so I stopped. But I'll definitely give it a go again. Michael Caine, that's him. Yeah, he's in it, and he's in Muppet Christmas, isn't he? I must confess, I did have a bit of a hissy fit when I found out how shit Spirit of Wolf was, or the fact that it actually wasn't Spirit of Wolf. Spirit of Stamina, some shit they should have called it, obviously. And also, I'm not sure if it's still the same. It kind of felt like it was, but I don't understand why all mobs run faster than you do. Even when sprinting, it seems like it's like they get stuck to you. It's like they kind of get stuck to the back of you, and you can't shake them off. I remember in an early revision, you had to just jump off the side of cliffs. Ah, it's my first slog beetle. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not sure if they still do, but these dudes drop to like a shell helmet thing. That was pretty cool. Ooh. Didn't realise it'd be an even con. Also, they nerfed the slog beetles. Like when I first started, like they were really hard to kill, and I kind of thought to myself that's quite funny because it's like a slog to kill. But they definitely nerfed them after a while. They're much easier now. You pretty much have to use your sprint though, don't you? Yeah, I don't like the mechanic. Just give me Spirit of Wolf any day. It's alright if sprint it's alright if the sprint mechanic they've implemented is a system that has some kind of relevance further down the line. But yeah, I don't know, if it's just a different way of implementing a, you know, or not wanting people to have Spirit of Wolf, then I don't know. It's new, I guess, isn't it? Oh, Forest Forager. Sometimes these dudes they used to have bags, these dudes. They throw rocks at you and knock you over as well. No, what? No frontal stun immunity there. Yeah, it's a shaman run past and buff me, then I think to myself, I need to go and start a shaman. Well, I've started one. I just haven't, like, I've got a name. I've made it, but I just haven't started it yet. I still haven't got. I've got the tier 2 metal. I still haven't got the Asherite to turn in for the quest. These smokes. I haven't got enough potatoes either. I wonder why they chose potatoes. Oh, maybe it's because of potatoes precious. Doesn't seem to be any reputation system at the moment that I can see particularly. Like as an ogre, like the human guards just like me. So. More bloody mushrooms. See, those mobs have still got the dreaded chevrons. The Let's Copy Embers Adrift rons. What's up here now? This used to be where the Dire Lord situation was. The Dire Lord guild used to be around. The Dire Lords used to have their own guild around here. I wonder if it will be a thing at some point again. Yeah, I reckon it probably should be just bring me 4 vegetables. As opposed to. And surely if you're gathering vegetables and you went start gathering, you'd know what the vegetable was from the leaves, wouldn't you, or whatever, or the plant. Wild vegetables, yeah, but what are they? Is it a potato plant? Or so what's up here now then? Oh, is it still there? Oh, that's weird. Why didn't they start us here then? Oh, the guild is still here. Is it? They're not aggressive, these guards, are they? No. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's a lot more convoluted, but I really like the Worm Online. Like I liked the searching for ore stuff in Worm Online. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Where you have to prospect an area and you find a node, and then you just get. So you spend the time. I mean, Worm Online is just horribly grindy, in general. But I enjoyed that. So why diet? Why is my dire lord starting in some Ponzi underground cave that you have to, that it's a chore to get to start the main quest because you have to run past that camp to get out when you get out of the cave, but you've got the guild up there. It doesn't make any sense. So I bet those bloody human dire lords start there, do they, wankers? Oh look. Oh, well, up there is where the dire lords used to start, and the guild is still there. And then you come down here. Oh, I got it this time, dwarf. Move along. You think he's hacks? You think he's got like a program showing him, telling him where all the things are? Yeah, so just down here you've got the area where I just was. So you've got the bridge, broken bridge over there, and the town's over there. And up here was the dire lord starting place. Okay, well I think we can probably turn in some quests coming out. I still need a potato. Oh, I haven't found one maple tree yet. Okay, let's make that a priority. Let's get to level 5 and then I think we're going across the bridge into the other area. Oh yeah, I was only mucking around. They spawn in the same spots, but I'm not sure how the timers work. I remember gathering one. I mean, this was quite a little way back, before early access. But I remember gathering one from somewhere, and then hunting in the area, and it didn't spawn again. So I don't know. Well, the biggest issue is just not enough of them. You know, it's. Sorry, I'm just going over old ground, flogging a dead horse. There's not enough nodes. We know that. That's how they want it. So yeah, we like it or we move on. It is an interesting thing overall, though, this gathering thing, like how all of these indie MMOs have incorporated it in their game. And I guess more modern MMOs as well. I guess they just saw how popular survival games were that did it, and maybe they thought we'll do that as well. I can't bother to skin any more stuff. It just takes so long. I'm not sure that's right actually, because the dwarf was mining a node just behind me, and after he'd finished it, it went. So I couldn't gather it. That would be cool. Some kind of instance thing on nodes would be good. So at least you could get some stuff. And that same dwarf ran up towards a node that I was mining, and he kind of veered away. Oh wow! Look, I found a little, found a jackpot here. We'll leave that and go for the ore. Yeah, this whole thing with the node thing and the way it's all implemented the same as well. Like they're all implementing it the same. It's a thing. It must be a thing, but I'm not quite sure why no one is trying to iterate on it and make it a bit more of an original thing. I know, right? Too. I mean, as I said, I hit the jackpot here. I like a New World as well, where if you start harvesting and then it stops for some reason and you start harvesting it again, it starts at the point where you were originally doing it. Oh wow, look at this. This is I've hit a spawn here. I've hit a spawn. Saying that though, it's not like there's anyone around particularly. I think that dwarf just seemed to be after the Asherite because he was running past other nodes. Oh man, New World got me addicted to gathering. Jesus. And like chest opening as well. I just couldn't stop it. I still can't stop it. I still log in and do it. It's such a great feeling. Like they really nailed it. Honestly, I'm just collecting it because it's there at the moment, really. Just because, you know, I enjoy gathering stuff when there's stuff together. But I don't even know. Like, I'll probably do cooking. If I get that far, I don't know. There's just some things. They're just, as you know, there's just stuff I don't like. You know. I want to do all the crafting on one bloke. I don't want to fuck around having to create loads of different characters to do all the crafting that I want to do. It's just a pain in the arse. Well, I want all of them, but no, I haven't picked any yet. Yeah, New World's a funny game because I think I've got like 3 characters at max level now, so I'm not sure if you do the same, but what I do is start a new character and play through, really enjoy it, get to the end game, do a bit of end game, but then it kind of runs out of steam at the end game, unfortunately. It still boggles my mind that there's maybe there are other new MMOs that do this, but that there's an MMO that gates dungeons. Like you can't go into a dungeon without other people. How ridiculous is that? Oh, hello, what we got here? Oh, nice. Oh, for pity's sake. Okay, so we've got I think that's better than my current axe. 6 damage. Holy shit. Yeah, so the game has a very, very lightweight New World chess system in it as well. Where you find stuff. Weirdly, coincidentally, Embers Adrift has exactly the same system in it. Implemented in exactly the same way. I don't mind doing multiplayer. I just don't see. It's one of those things that, I mean, I fully intend to group and stuff and whatnot if I stick with the game. It's one of those things where, again, it's not a classic system. Like, why does the game require you to? If you really enjoy crafting and you want to do all the crafting skills, why does the game require you to have to create more characters to do that? It doesn't. But that's how it is, I guess. You know, as I said, it's like. When you say why wouldn't it have similar systems, what do you mean? Like similar systems to other classic MMOs like Ultra Online, where you can create a character, you can create a crafter and get all the crafting skills, or EverQuest, where you can do all the crafting on one character. You're talking about those games, those MMOs. It's another system copied from the current generic games that we've got, where you can't do all the crafting on one character, essentially, and it's not like it's new. Other indie MMOs are currently doing it. Embers Adrift does it, for example. Right, but EverQuest was designed for social gaming. Ultra Online was an MMO. I think one of the things that the audience is one of the mistakes that I see the audience for these games making at the moment is that, like, social interaction. Oh, I'm so glad that there's MMOs coming out now where there's social interaction. Well, EverQuest never had any of these systems. Ultra Online never had any of these systems, and they were social MMOs. So why is this different? That's what I don't understand. If there's a system implemented in Pantheon that's not like it was in a classic MMO, why is that then intended for solo? What's the difference? I don't get it. I think people are getting confused by a game like an MMO, for example, choosing to like a game being created, and you players are given choice and license to play the game how they want, as opposed to being forced to play the game a certain way. So, despite really weird opinions on it, like in EverQuest and all those classic MMOs, you could choose to interact if you wanted to, and you could choose not to. I mean, if you go back and look, I mean, I've got the original EverQuest vanilla guide, and you open up the vanilla guide and you look at classes, and the game actually tells you how good the classes are at soloing or grouping, and you know, there's documented evidence where the originally the Necromancer was designed as the solo class. That's what the developers said. So they didn't develop the game so that you can develop a game as a social game, but then give players other ways of playing it. But what we're seeing with these games is that that's not what's happening. They're designing it to be played a certain way, and they're removing choice from people. That's what. So if this game was a classic MMO, it would give me the choices as those games did to play how I would want to play it, even if that meant not talking to anyone. You know, not interacting with people in a social game is not. That's just an option. That's a choice for you to have, how to play the game, and there are people that will want to play it that way. And the developers of those early MMOs realise that, and they literally tell you in the literature. You know, it's the. What choice is available? Well, we was talking about the choice of only being able to choose two crafting skills, which I'm hoping that we've settled the fact that that's not a classic system. It wasn't like that in classic MMOs, but this game has got that. And then someone suggested that, well, the reason it's done is so you have to interact with people. And then my argument was, well, classic MMOs didn't make you interact with people. It was a choice. Now you could say that, well, just don't do crafting. But then that's still removing choice. The other thing with these games as well, and it's an issue that happened with M's Adrift, which I know it always sounds like I'm picking on it, but it's not. It's just a perfect example. Is that game is now not sustainable as an MMO because there's not enough people playing it. So the systems that were designed, whether it's gathering, crafting, or combat, or whatever it may be, are now not viable because well, this game, like all of them, was initially sold as a spiritual successor to EverQuest, and it was being designed by Brad McQuaid. Now, if since Brad's no longer here, if the design philosophy has changed, then yeah, it's a WoW clone instead of an EverQuest clone, and that's fine. You know, maybe I missed that bit where they said, you know, we're now moving to a slightly more modern system. When you say it's a time-tested way, in which games? Not in EverQuest, not in Ultra Online. So you mean WoW essentially? So that game that many people don't like because it wasn't a classic game. But anyway, I mean, the system is what it is. I mean, so those two games, okay. So WoW really, like WoW did it. So that means that it's so all those things that WoW did that people hated, but this is the one where, yeah, this is the one we like, you know. I see. Anyway, my point is that it's not a classic MMO system. It's not a classic MMO design philosophy. More importantly, um, but then if you want to put a line where you think classic MMOs stopped and started, that line's probably going to be different from mine. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the thing is, it is what it is. That's what they're doing. Um, I just know from myself personally, and from many people who have commented on it on the channel when I've played games and left comments and we've spoke about it in game, is that these are the sort of decisions why they stop playing Embers Adrift, for example, or whatever it may be. People don't want to create loads of characters to do all the things. You know, that's if you have to force the community to interact, then yeah, I don't know what to say. It doesn't seem like the right way of doing it at all. It should be like a natural, organic thing, and it should be a choice either you want to or not. You know, it's not like I don't. You can do that on this also anyway. You know, it's like I know a couple of guys playing Pantheon at the moment who are multi-boxing. It's even easier to do when you've got, if you were playing before early access. I mean, I could basically go and buy the game on Steam now, load up another account and just start multi-boxing. So yeah, pretty easy. Some people like interacting in that way, and that's fine. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to. What I'm saying is that the choice is removed if you don't want to do that. That's what I'm saying. If they plan on having shared banks, that might help to a certain extent. If you could just chuck all of your gatherables in there, and unless of course they stick with the other wank system, where you had to level your character. Well, it looks like you've still got to do that. Yeah. So basically, if you really like so at the moment, I'm not sure if it's going to stay like this. People have said it's not going to stay like this, but why can't you just create a crafting character that just crafts? At the moment you can't, but I think I've heard that they're going to remove this. But then if this is testing, why is the system not as it's going to be? Why, if this is not how the system's going to be, why would it need to be like this for testing at the moment? Doesn't really make any sense. But yeah. I mean, that might make things easier if there's a shared bank and you can create a dude and you can just craft away to your heart's content with stuff that like another character is gathered. Yeah, that might be better. But again, this is exactly the system that another game is currently using that's already out. Amongst the many other things that this game has copied from that game, there's absolutely no innovation whatsoever. you will still be able to do it all though. So it's like, so what this is, and it's again, I keep saying it's just the same in the other games, but it is the same. This is just created to keep you in a game longer arbitrarily, because it doesn't feel as though you would want to do that anyway, because it's a good game. You know, I mean, the thing is that they're not allowing a character to do all the crafting, but they're going to give you a shared bank so you can just put stuff in there to transfer to your other characters. Someone said that like a few people have said to me that at some point later on in the testing, I don't know why it's later on in the testing, but at some point later on in the testing, you don't need to level your character level to increase your crafting skills. So like a person could do it all anyway. It just means that you just got more characters on your roster, really. It's like, but if you like doing that, wouldn't you do it anyway? If you like doing it, and if the game is essentially saying to you through other systems that, well, you can do it anyway, we're just making it more of a roundabout, then yeah, it sounds like you're saying that we're saying that you shouldn't be able to do that. And what I'm saying is, why not just design it so people have got the choice to do it how they... Essentially, it comes back to you forcing the player what to do, forcing the player to do things, as opposed to... and it also comes back to my point of people going on and on and on about this game so much like EverQuest and spiritual successor, blah, 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 when what it is a spiritual successor to World of Warcraft, essentially. But it sounds like you can just use alts, though, anyway. So... Right, but some barriers are, well, some barriers are organic and some are not. So, in Ultra Online, you can create a character, and I raise blacksmithing by doing blacksmithing, and then I can raise woodworking by doing woodworking, and then I can raise leatherworking by doing leatherworking. So the barrier is doing the skill to raise the skill, just like in real life, really. Nothing is organic, so using a skill to raise a skill is not organic. It's certainly doing a good job of of like mimicking that, because you mean organic in the sense it doesn't have living matter? What? Well, they're copying another game anyway, so why not copy a better game? You know. Yeah, I don't understand what's so difficult to understand. It's like the system in this game really is not any different. Um, UO is not better than this. Oh, okay. I mean, I like EverQuest and the 3D environments and the world and stuff, but I mean, I have to say, Ultra Online was not a better MMO than this. Okay, I'm done. I don't know what else to say. Well, now you're making comments that don't even make any sense. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. What do you mean? Just give us max level characters. What? How is that relevant to the conversation that we're having? I don't understand what people are getting confused by. Like, there are MMOs out there that don't have limitations, that operate and work perfectly well, and they're regarded as some of the greatest MMOs that were ever created. This game is not gone that way. That's fine, but I don't understand why people don't understand that it's already been done. It works fine. So no one cares what you do with all. So then why would anyone care what you do with one character then? Like what? What's the difference? And also, there isn't a limitation if you can do it anyway. It's not like the only limitation is logging out and logging back in again. Well, this game is copying shittier games. So, yeah, I would rather it copied a better games, but it's not. So, it's so weird listening to this conversation. Like people hate modern MMOs, or that's what we're led to believe. Like people who play Pantheon hate modern MMOs, and yet now there's someone telling us that the greatest ever is nostalgia, etc. So what? I don't. I'm confused. Aren't people playing this game because they want to play? They want that classic experience, but I'm way really confused. Aren't we playing these games because that's what we want to get back to? Well, my response wasn't to you anyway, so it was to someone else. I don't hate modern MMOs either. I play New World quite a lot. Yeah, I'm not even sure what we're arguing about anymore, to be honest with you, or discussing. I mean, at the end of the day, MMO, they're some of the best MMOs out there have let a single character do all the stuff, and it didn't affect the game at all. But there's people who seem to be trying to tell you that it did affect the game, even though we know it didn't, just because they want it to be, you know, like that. I think you're confusing not liking it with just saying that it's not it's using systems that are not from an era that they initially said they were taking us back to. I'm not quite sure what the confusion is there. I mean I'm running around the game and I'm quite enjoying it. I haven't played any game that where there's something in it that I haven't that I like everything. So I don't know. Should you then not play any game? I don't know. It's like and actually at the end of the day, I think the point is that it's not about whether whether I like them or not. I mean, my channel's not like massive, like Lazy Peon or whatever. But what I do know is that over the last 10 years of playing MMOs, many people have said I stopped playing this current indie MMO because of this system, and these are the systems that we're discussing. But people don't have time to create 5 alts to do all the crafting. It's just, and these are people that played MMOs from that period. So yeah, I'm not sure what the chat room thing and the internet thing's got to do with anything really. It's like you're suggesting that this game is designed that way to encourage socializing, and I'm saying that games were better when they were designed to give people the choice to do what they want, more like a sandbox essentially. I'm not sure socializing. I don't even think that socializing has kind of is relevant. It's like if you want to play the game that way, then you can do that. And if someone maybe wants to do something different, play the game in a different way, then you can design it so it also does that. I think you're missing completely missing the point of the whole conversation. Like, I'm not, like, I understand it is how it is, and that's how it's been designed, and I can make my choice whether I want to play a game that's designed that way or not. What I'm saying is that there are games that have proved that there's a better way of doing it, and this game is not copying one of those games. Okay, so fine. There you go. No, I mean that's probably about the worst analogy I've ever heard. Because if chess was originally designed so the pawn could move wherever it wants, like the queen, and then you stop it doing that, then that's what this is. The analogy you've used is completely wrong. When chess was originally designed, that's how the pawn worked. Classic MMOs, when they were originally designed, weren't like this. And they're like it now. They're like it now. I don't care particularly. I can play it or not. My point is that there's a proven better way of doing it, and this game is essentially allowing you to do it, but it's just asking you to jump through some more hoops. So in which case, what's the point? Indeed, why restrict freedom? Isn't that what we want in our games? A freedom to do. Yeah, you're repeating how the game's designed, as though no one knows how the game's designed apart from you. Like we all know how the game's designed. I'm saying there's a better way of doing it that gives people more freedom and options. I don't see why. You don't like that? That's fine. Yeah, okay, so we disagree. I guess it's just opinion, I guess then. It's like as I said before, I'm not sitting here spouting a I'm not sitting here spouting a singular individual opinion. These are the things that people have told me through the channel. Lots of people have told me through the channel as to why they stopped playing an MMO. I don't want to play Embers Adrift because I have to create 15 fucking alts and I have to level all of those alts to do the crafting. It's not many people have told me that. Those people might still be playing Embers Adrift now if it wasn't for that. That's as I said, it's not just me that But you can have those interactions anyway, even if there weren't any limits, if you wanted them. That's why do you have to force people to have interactions? And if the answer is, well, because if you didn't, they wouldn't, then well, maybe they don't want to then, and they're forced into doing it. And so then maybe that's why they end up stop playing the game. And maybe that's why when you log into these games, after they've been out for a few months, there's no one playing them. It's not like, I mean, it's not like you can, I mean, the last time I leveled a character through New World, I placed loads of limits on myself that weren't there, but I did it because I wanted to do it and it was fun. So what you could do is play the game and you could say, okay, I'm a warrior So I'm going to make my own weapons and armour. And that's it. Maybe that could be it because of time restraints. Maybe you think, well, I haven't got the time to level all the other stuff, so that's what I'm going to do. So you can make that. So even if this was a system where you could do it, you could do everything, then you can still, as an individual, make the decision to say, well, I'm not going to do that, and that's fine. And you can interact with other people. You can not do any gathering if you didn't want to. You could buy stuff from people. So that's the choice. That's the choice. The game has given you that choice. But to me, it also seems sensible, particularly if you want your game to have a healthy population, to give people other choices, not just the same, not just forcing the same choice on the choices that you're making. So you can still do that. You can still do that if you wanted to. You can still play the game how you want. There's nothing stopping you, irrespective of, this game could have 100 crafting skills and it could let you do all of them, but you could still choose to do 2 of them. So then you can just still play the game and interact how you want to. I mean, I don't know if anyone's played it or not. It's a new MMO, new world. It does exactly that. It gives you the choice. Everyone can go out and gather everything, and whenever you go into New World and you look on the trade board, there's always people wanting to buy your stuff. There's no problem with the economy, other than the fact that economies in MMOs are generally shit after a short period of time anyway. I logged in, the last time I played, I ran around mining ore. I got about 5,000 bits, and I went and they immediately sold on the auction house, because there are people that play the game in a different way. Some want to do it, some want to gather it, some want to buy it. Some want to gather it and not craft it, so they sell it. Some don't want to gather it, so they buy it and they craft. And they've all got the option to do that and play it exactly how they want. There's no limitations, and it works fine. The tier 1 gatherables on New World are always sought after. Well, but people didn't stop playing New World because of that, though. People stopped playing New World because there's really almost nothing to do at the end game. So you get there. I mean, I've got 3 characters to the end game on New World, and I stopped playing all of them. They just sit there because there isn't really much to do. Anyway, at the end of the day, we've already had MMOs that use this system that have essentially failed quite recently. You don't have to look that far back to see an indie MMO that is now not functioning properly as an MMO, and it plays similar to this, and the systems are designed very similar. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this will somehow be the one that everyone goes, oh, actually, we like the systems in this one. I don't know. It's like. But I guess we'll see it. So, we'll see. It comes out. We'll give it 6 months. I'll say it comes out. You know, if it's ever released, we'll give it 6 months, and then yeah, see how it's going. I wonder if classic WoW servers have much of an impact on, is having much of an impact on these games as well. Should I play classic WoW, or should I play a game that's kind of trying to be like classic WoW, but well, the issue with Pantheon is, what I've been trying to say is that it's making this, it's making the same design choices of games that have already failed. And like, you know, don't come back at me at, well, the game's still going. Well, yeah, yeah, I know the game's still going, but as an MMO, they've failed. There's not enough people playing them. And this game has incorporated the same systems. I don't know, like maybe people think that because, I don't know, it's got some ex-EverQuest stuff attached to it or whatever, that it'll be better and it'll be more popular. I don't know, maybe it will. Maybe it won't die for the same reasons that the other games died. I don't know. I didn't say anything about setting the world on fire. Who said that? I think it's got to be completely. I think the issue here is that the developers don't really know what. They don't seem to understand. The developers don't understand their audience is the issue. That's why the games are failing. I don't think anyone's got any delusions about the audience that wants this game. These type of games, there is an audience, but you only get one chance to grab them, and if you don't, then that's your lot. It's done. I never said Pantheon were found because of the crafting system. I said it's one of the systems that people over the years have said to me as to a reason as to why they stopped playing. A number of people said to me, I started playing Embers Adrift and I quite enjoyed it, but I stopped playing because I didn't want to level up 4, 5 alts or whatever it is to do all the crafting. And I'm a crafter, I like crafting, so I stopped playing. In fact, more people have said that to me than I've seen logged into the game sometimes. So it's not some random thought pulled out of the air. These are issues that people have told me as to reasons as to why they stopped playing one of the current MMOs that are currently doing the rounds. And it's happened more than once. So there's a reasonable chance that it might happen. It could happen again. You know, it's not like. Yeah, I mean, it's not even really about my preference. It's just about choice. You know, I'm not like, I've got no interest in stopping anyone playing the game how they want to play. I don't think an MMO should have a forced environment where you're forced to do something that the game wants you to do outside of what you would see from a natural like progress in a role-playing game to push your character forward, and that is like making numbers go up. That's what they're all about. Yeah, I think you go around in circles. Like I understand that some people like limitations. You know, it's like, and I'm not quite sure how you explain like a game like Embers Adrift, for example, that is a game that has very, very similar limitations to this game, and it's failed. So it's like, so you've got a game there that is very group focused to a point where like even leveling is really not an option solo quite early on in the game. It's just far too slow. And the way the crafting system is designed is similar to this with regards to limitations, and there's hardly anyone playing that game. So what? I mean, why are you not playing that game? Because it's offering exactly what you like. But when you look at it, really, it's not like, I mean, like Embers Adrift again is very similar to this from a combat point of view, in the sense that you get some bars on your thing, and you've got cooldowns and stuff, and you walk up to something and you hit it, and you click your bars, and it uses a resource and stuff. So where are the people that like the limitations? Why are they not playing that game? I think you're still missing the point as well, in that you know, there are games that are sandboxy, and they work fine. If people want to interact, they do. If they don't, they don't. It's not. I'm not picking at one point. That's the point we're talking about. There are other reasons that people said to me as to why they stopped playing a game. It was much slower to level than EverQuest, for example, or in Emma's Drift case, there was no magic or whatever it was. There was a number of reasons for it. No, I never played Ark or Rust. So, no, I'm talking about MMOs. We've mentioned some. I don't know like what the problem is. New World, Ultra Online, EverQuest, blah de blah de blah. There's, have you played Embers Adrift? Because there's much in. I spoke about it a lot. It's what the other two videos that I did were on essentially. It's not just the gathering and crafting. This is like there are so many similarities in this game to Embers Adrift. I think I said before, like if you squint, it can feel as though you're playing the same game. Combat system and implementation of skills and building resources, using skills, cooldowns, all that kind of stuff. It's very similar. I mean, if you haven't played it, you wouldn't know, but it's like if you play indie MMOs, you're taking notice of them. You must, I imagine someone would have heard of the game and has maybe looked at it. And they play very similarly. I mean, the gameplay loop essentially is exactly the same as this game. The combat again is very similar, as I said, with the even systems like chevrons. That chest you saw me open earlier, that's implemented exactly the same as it is in. Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't even arguing that all games have to be like it. My argument is purely based around the fact that these games were originally telling us that they were aping games from a certain period, and they named the games. Embers Drift, for example, names EverQuest, and then when you play the games, the systems are completely different. If they want to change their systems and their game through development, or they realise that their game is not going to be like that, and then that's fine. I'm not bothered by it. This game doesn't have to have anything really. My point, for the most part, is that it's not a spiritual successor to the games that were told it was. Yeah, but there you go. Pantheon can keep its 2 crafting limit, and yeah. And I guess the market will decide, as it did with Shroud of the Avatar and Project Gorgon and Embers Adrift and Are these reviews you're talking about? Are the reviews for this game on Steam? Is that what you're talking about? Because I've always been told that as an MMO you can't. How can you review an MMO that's only been out for a day or two? Are they bot reviews? And I guess a lot of people on Steam playing the game probably haven't played it before, unless they've bought another account to box. Yeah, and those people are probably boxing, ironically. I mean, like, to be fair, I actually, I think people get a bit over emotional, and I actually quite like the game, really, like running around and doing stuff. I quite enjoy it. My only point was that it's not, it's not. These games have not been, they're not taken after the games that we were sort of told that they were going to, which is fine. And also, I think more importantly is that it's making, as I said, it's making the same mistakes that other games that are currently not working have made. That looks interesting up there. and that's a climb. That's a climbable only, I reckon. Sorry, you can't see my mouse pointer, can you? It's like just up there. There's some columns of lights on or something at the top of that. Yeah, the lighting at night and the volumetrics are really nice, but other than that, it's far too Fortnite-y, I think. Yeah, you're right, Jacob. I mean, that's kind of where we need to get to, I think, from not just MMOs, but all gaming. I think paying for something up front incentivizes bad habits, as you say, and why skin in 10 seconds? No idea. It's something I've spoken about many times. I mean, it will obviously speed up because there's a skill involved, and you get better gathering tools and stuff. But I don't know why it starts from such a low base point. So. The other thing as well that we was talking about earlier is that all of these kind of systems are all kind of intertwined. So one of the other popular reasons as to why people stopped playing an MMO was it's become like fashionable as well for the games to take longer to level in than they did in a game like EverQuest. Again, I'll compare it to EverQuest. And that ties into the alts thing, that then ties into the crafting thing. People didn't have the time because it was taking so long to level a character. People didn't have the time, to create more than one character, and you know. I don't think there's 9,000 on this. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all right until you know your game is no longer an MMO. I mean, you know, the guys from the other games, I'm sure, are passionate about their project, and they haven't budged from their design like philosophy, and like people just stop playing the games, you know. So I think to a certain extent you have to at least think about what you think the target audience like wants, unless you just got the privilege of doing the game and the financial side of it doesn't matter. You know, I think you need to have some. It's amazing how a lot of those cool weapon those like mechanics have been removed as well, like you know, not being able to weapon swap in combat, that kind of stuff. Seems a shame. That opened up a whole new avenue of tactics in EverQuest, weapon swapping. Jacob, yeah, I mean, like Embers Adrift is a perfect example of that. What you state, you know, a game that is almost completely focused around group or social interaction, but there's no one playing it. So then you're obviously in a situation where the game can't be played like that. Yeah, and I mean, I've even seen people who were quite diehard on that game stop playing because they just stopped being able to get groups and stuff. I mean, the stuff we're talking about, it's not like it. You know, we're not pulling it out of thin air. It's not like it's happened before. You know. As I said earlier, I just think that people want a certain thing. You know, they think that those MMOs were solely focused around the social and grouping and whatever, but you know, they were a lot more open-ended in their design than that. And some games actually told you that that's just not what it was about. I think there's kind of like a misty-eyed view of socializing in MMOs, and not in a sense that it's not something that people want. You know, people want to do it, obviously, and it's a thing, but people seem to see it as like an enforced thing, or it should be an enforced thing, when that was never really the case. Across all MMOs, actually. Yeah, I reinstalled Classic WoW the other day. I'm going to have a little go on one of the new anniversary servers, I think. But I'm probably going to choose a class that I would never normally choose. I might go for the warrior, actually. Give the warrior a go. I've been quite digging the warriors in a couple of games that I've played recently. Well, I've hit the jackpot here on the old. Yeah, EverQuest free. I got no interest unless they show something that absolutely wows. I'm imagining another Fortnite-y looking kind of survival. Yeah, sure thing, mate, yeah. Oh, God, EverQuest Next was horrible. It was worse than this, wasn't it, I think? It literally felt like I was looking at a Disney film of that era. Phew. Yeah, when the game was going through, I say going through a rough patch, I guess more of a rough patch, in the sense that, like, you know, people's view of it. Yeah, that battle royale thing, that was a crazy, crazy decision. I mean, they quickly rode back on it, which was good, but, you know. I didn't get one on my warrior either. Like, it definitely was these mobs, the slog beetles that dropped. I got a couple of them before early access. They dropped like a chitin helmet or something, but I haven't seen one yet. I haven't seen one. Didn't see one on my warrior either. Yeah, I think that's essentially where everyone gravitates to again after, you know, like I kind of feel that when a new MMO is announced and they talk about old school and all that kind of stuff, like I feel like I come out of hiding and I go and try them out, get a bit disappointed, and then I think you kind of end up going back to not just P99. Obviously, you got Qualm now; is very popular. I think we just go back to that, don't we? Oh, I hate not accidentally breaking your gathering, and then you have to start again. I've been absolutely loving the crap out of City of Heroes as well. I play on the I can't remember what it's called. A group of servers. I think it was one of the first emulated ones, and I think they've now got like the permission of the original publishers or something to carry on. Yeah, I've been loving that. I've been playing I think it was a Mind Dominator, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love like flying up to the top of the tallest building and just looking around, and exploring in that game is amazing. Exploring the zones. I quite like a super jump as well because it makes you feel a bit like the Hulk, but I think for the flying's a bit more practical. Oh, don't get me on time going past. Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know, like since I passed 50, every year seems to be flying by. It's horrible. Oh, there's another one. Right, so if I have a sword in my offhand, I can dual wield. If I have a sword in my offhand, oh yeah. So having the sword in my offhand, my blade skill's still going up. So. Do you know, I really like Worm was that one MMO that I really, really, really wanted to love, but it was just too grindy even for me. It was like I loved wandering around, watching people sailing their boats that they'd made and all that kind of stuff. It just took so long to get to that point. Like, you really had to dedicate your life to that game. I don't know that there were like servers where you can change the, you know, the rate of gain and stuff, but I do like to play on the official stuff. Thank you, mate. You'll think I'm pretty cool until I have a go at the MMO that you really like, and then you'll hate me like everyone else does. Well, look, skill damage. I'm not. You've got a weapon's got its damage and delay. Although for basic attacks, it feels as though, because in EverQuest, whatever weapon, like the base damage of the weapon is double what the damage on the weapon actually says. But here, I think it's just like, I think I'm hitting for like 6 essentially. I'm not sure if strength increases damage or if it increases the damage cap. And then I've got my skills that that do a lot more damage than just a basic swing. Hey mate, how you doing? Hope you're well. How are all you guys over there on that side? You still MMOing and stuff? Yeah, you know, people talk about danger in MMO, like, you know, like really feeling like anxious. Worm Online made me the whenever I left my tent. Oh, it was such a scary. I'm really lucky here with nodes at the moment. Maybe there's a dev watching and they're just spawning them for me. I don't know. Yeah, like Worm Online, whenever I really felt like if I die, that's it. Like, there's literally no way of getting your corpse back unless you remember exactly where you died. And, you know, it's not like dying in a zone in EverQuest. Like, you know, these areas are massive. I was always so scared moving away from my... literally, like if I ever aggroed anything, I would just start running back to my tent, hoping I was going in the right direction. I did get to a point where I built a cart and stuff, and I'd ride around on the cart, and you could kind of like, like outrun mobs and stuff if you were on the road and that kind of thing. Yeah, I wish I could have got into Worm more. It was, Is that Hero's Journey the one? Is that the EverQuest one, mate, where you can pick 3 classes to play? I saw it. Can you play old style graphics? Because if you can, I might give it a go. I was kind of thinking what would be super OP. I was thinking like warrior, cleric, enchanter or something. Oh, that might be pretty good. Or warrior, shaman. I don't know. You could be mage. I mean, you think can you be mage, necro, like beast lord or something, and have all 3 pets out? Oh, that'd be mental, wouldn't it? I wonder how the interface works. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I might have a look at that. Oh, we're out of bag space again. I might see if you can run the old graphics if you can. Is it like Velius era, or is it like later than that? Oh, cool. So you have one dude with 3 pets. That sounds awesome. How does the interface work? Do you get like a different window for each pet? That'd be crazy. I guess you can do a macro maybe where you can do like pet all attack or something maybe, or I don't know. Oh, so it's classic as well mostly. Oh, cool. I might have to have a look at that. I need to have a look at the other one that's been mentioned to me as well, the Minecraft one. Minecraft EverQuesty kind of thing. I might install Worm Online again, actually. Now you're talking about it, it's kind of got me... I like the atmosphere of the game. It's really immersive, the world. Noise of someone else gathering is really strange. So does just the server have to kill it, or do you have to do it as a character? Saying that, though, you could probably solo it, couldn't you? Free, maybe not. Free dudes. I might give that a go. I just hated the mod. I hated the look clean graphics. That's the only thing. Like with a passion. So if I can use the old models. What's the I'm just theory crafting now. What's regarded as the OP combination? Is it like it's got to be like cleric enchanter plus something maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Worm Online. I so wanted to like it because I loved everything about it. I loved the atmosphere. One of the reasons that I didn't get on with it so well was that the PvE wasn't really implemented in like an MMO style. Like you had mobs wandering around and stuff, but there were no, I guess, like dungeons and camps and stuff. I know ages ago they spoke about implementing a more robust kind of PvE system. Shaman plus warrior plus something else. Shaman plus warrior plus enchanter. Oof. Cleric for rezzing though. Like you can res yourself, I guess, couldn't you, if you died? No, slow enchanter's got slow and haste. Ah, warrior, enchanter, cleric. Oh, AAs as well. Holy smoke. I might give that a go just and stream it, like, because it just sounds like it might be just a lot of fun. Cleric SK Rogue, yeah. Yeah, SK with AAs and stuff, I guess. Rogues with AAs. That's going to be pretty crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I bet. I think I'd have to play it like I played TAC P. So on TAC P, I'd mostly concentrate on one class, and the others would just kind of like buff and follow around mostly. Well, macro, micro just couldn't do it. Couldn't deal with it. You mean no? Sorry. No, I only. Well, saying that, I mean, I've got a Twitch channel, but and I always thought about streaming on Twitch, but I mostly just do it here because it's mostly just people that are subscribed, I guess, come and watch. Yeah, so RuneScape was like Worm. It was and that is actually a game that I might try and get into. It just feels like it has that nice game to be in, kind of grindy experience. That, yeah, now that is a game that I might. Oops, I might do. That's a food bag, that one, isn't it? Does it still... Oh no, it doesn't stack stuff when you right click. Still doesn't do that. That's frustrating, that is. Yeah, Brighter Shores was a bit weird in the time that I played it. But yeah, Old School RuneScape was definitely one that I thought to myself, oh, I think I'd like to play that, but you know, so many games, not enough time. Rat meat. I should probably at some point do some foods, start raising food skill. I guess that's going to be the one to go for as one of my tokens. Well, they were the first apples that I got. That's weird. Oops. Don't need that, so we'll stick it in the bank. Until you get loads of bags or boxes, like inventory management is a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I've got a lot of good times in MMOs, like post classic ones. I spent quite a lot of time in WoW when it first came out, and went through all of them really. Like when a new one came out, I'd give it a go, even pretty obscure ones. I remember playing one where you could be a dragon, little dragon or something. I can't remember what that was called. Played some PvP ones like Shadowbane and stuff, and yeah. But I agree. I'm still waiting for something to, as people often say, you know, maybe it really was all just nostalgia, and most of us are never going to find an MMO that makes us feel the same way. I mean, I'm kind of over the nostalgia part, really. Like, a lot of the time now, I'm kind of concentrating on like mechanics and systems and stuff, and like whether I want to invest time in it, really. Like, I think we've probably all played. Actually, to be fair, I think we've probably all played. I say all. Like, a lot of us have played EverQuest on P99 to be past the nostalgia thing and be more into, you know, we really love the game and the systems, and that's what we're playing it for. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to knock the old stream on the head now. I hope you've enjoyed it all. We had some debate. Hopefully no one got triggered too much or anything or whatever. I like, for my part, like I enjoy running around doing stuff in the game, but the way that some of the systems are implemented are probably maybe just not for me, and I'll see how it goes. And I think that we'll see how the game goes in that regard. I guess, you know, it's will it capture people? Will it not? I do think. I mean, I still do strongly think that the games that we've got and that are currently in development, like I don't think that they understand their audience. they kind of either think there's this like like this mythical unicorn shit group of new like MMO players who's going to want to play their game and try it, and I think that is a bit unicorn shitty kind of thing. I'm not saying there are not young players or new players, but I don't think that it will really be enough to keep the games going. And I think the audience that you would expect they probably would be aiming it at maybe just don't seem to have the time anymore or the patience. It's I know like a few of you old timers on the channel are kind of like my age or older, but I think for the most part, many of the people playing, a lot of the people who played EverQuest played it when they were kids, and now they've got family of their own and stuff, and they kind of want to play an EverQuest again, but they don't have the time to invest in what we're currently being given. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, as I said, like for the most part, running around killing stuff, I quite enjoy the classes that I've played. But yeah, I think it's I think personally, as I said, I personally think there are some design decisions here that don't match with what I personally regard as a classic MMO, and I think what some other people do as well, But whether the audience is big enough to sustain this game, I don't know. Will it be like Embers Adrift or one of the other games where we saw that initial influx of like a big audience, and like even Shroud of the Avatar, like Lazy Peon did some videos on that, and they, for the most part, they were quite positive, but it didn't have any impact on the player base, short term, even long term. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will. What's next? Well, I'll probably still play some more of this. I was thinking about doing some classic WoW on an anniversary server. So I'll probably do that soon at some point for the next stream, maybe. One of those kind of things. Maybe some more of this. I'll see how we get on. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.